Hey, Calvin family. Hope you guys are doing good. Today is our last video in our series on the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and lastly, self-control. And self-control is another fruit of the Spirit where it's like, yeah, that one's great. We're all on board with that. Let's do it. But it's an area in which all of us can improve. There is some area in our lives where we need more self-control. Maybe it's academics. Maybe it's eating. You don't have to be overweight to have lack of self-control when it comes to food. Maybe it's video games. Maybe it's drinking. Maybe it's driving. There's some area in your life where you need more self-control. An area for me where I needed self-control for a long time was driving. I'm gonna be real with you. My driving record is really bad. Okay, when I was like 18, just turned 18, I got caught going 71 in a 40, which is 31 over, which is reckless driving in Georgia, which means I had to pay $600 in fines. I had to meet with a PO for 4 months. I did community service with like legitimate criminals and drug dealers. It was a rough experience. I had to do defensive driving. It was horrible. And I thought I had learned my lesson, but like a year later, driving down the road, 3 cars around me, we're all going, a little over the speed limit. I'm the one that gets pulled over by a cop. Think I learned my lesson then. A few years go by. I'm driving down the road. I pass a police officer. Okay, I wasn't speeding. I just passed him and he pulls me over and I get a ticket for no seatbelt. At this point, I'm like, I'm never getting another ticket again. We moved to Des Moines a few years after the seatbelt incident. Get a letter in the mail. You know how you can turn right at a stoplight? Well, apparently I didn't come to a complete stop at a stoplight before I turned right, and I get a ticket for not stopping. And the last ticket I got was driving down the road by the Walmart, by Drake, that stupid speed camera, which is no longer there anymore, which is a good thing because it was ridiculous. I got a ticket for speeding there. I'm gonna be honest. I have paid a lot of driving fines, okay? I have had to deal with the consequences of it, and it stinks and it's horrible. But you know what? Could have been a lot worse. Really, the consequences for my bad driving could have been a lot worse. And one of the reasons I could have been worse is because when I got a speeding ticket or any kind of ticket, I had to deal with it right away. It wasn't a delayed consequence. And when we have delayed consequences in life, they're typically a lot worse. Academics, if you lack self-control when it comes to your grades, it may not affect you that much your first year, your sophomore year, maybe even your junior year. But you get to your senior year and you realize what your GPA means, that delayed consequence is really going to stink. Same when it comes to eating. May not affect you for the first 20, 30 years of your life, but you hit 40 or 50 and lack of self-control, you walk into the doctor office and you realize, wow, I have a lot of delayed consequences in my life because of my lack of self-control with food. Same with video games, driving, drinking, anything. Delayed consequences are so much worse. So the reason that we should have self-control is so that we don't have to have these horrible consequences in our life. But it's so much more than that. See, let's be honest. The main reason in which we start to have self-control in our life is so that we don't have to deal with the consequences of lack of self-control. But that shouldn't be the only reason. We should have self-control in our lives, not just because of how it affects us, but because of how it affects the people around us. See, I shouldn't just drive safely so that I don't get a ticket. I should drive safely so that I protect other people on the road. Lack of self-control will not just cause consequences in your own life, it will cause consequences in the lives of the people around you. Lack of self-control will negatively impact your future spouse. Lack of self-control is going to make your child's life so much harder. Even now, lack of self-control is going to make the lives of your parents and of your siblings way more difficult. And when you come back to Drake next year, lack of self-control is going to make the lives of your friends and of your peers, of the people in the different organizations, of everyone around you, so much more difficult. And as followers of Jesus, we should strive to make the lives of the people around us better. Really, that's what all fruit of the Spirit comes down to, is making the lives of people around us better, of representing the love of Jesus well. And so my final challenge to you, with all of the fruit of the Spirit and specifically self-control, is to have it in your life so that you can make the lives of people around you better.